Ayesha viewed Steph as a nice guy. And once you're in that nice guy box, it's hard to get out of it. Men are saying, what more can you give a woman? What more can you be? You have 3 children. Some people can't have children. You have 3. Some people are poor. You're rich. Some people are being cheated on. He's being faithful to you. What more do you want? Hey, what's going on? Welcome to the Sammy Rigaud podcast. My name is Sammy Rigaud. If you're new here, somehow the algorithm got you to my channel, welcome. Please do me a favor, subscribe and turn your notification bell on. This is the number 1 place to be right now. We're growing at a fast rate, and we're just that number just gonna keep going up and up. What in the world is going on with Ayesha Curry and Steph Curry? Now, these two, they've been married for a while, and I'm gonna get into the history. I'm gonna give my thoughts later too, but I think it's so interesting with these couples because a lot of times we make these couples as goals, or we look at them and we might think they have everything, and then turns out they don't. Recently on the Call Her Daddy podcast, Ayesha Curry went on and she revealed that she did not want marriage or children before meeting Steph. And sometimes she feels like she lost her identity and she didn't initially want to be a wife and a mother. She had other things on her mind. So let's go through the history. These two, they met in high school. Steph then, they met at a church camp, a church youth group in Charlotte, North Carolina. They both attended Central Church of God with their families. Steph was 15. Ayesha was 14. Ayesha said she wasn't interested in Steph initially. She thought he was too nice. And let's remember that. She thought he was too nice. And they were friends. They didn't date in high school. Steph always had a crush on her. So the first thing we see is Steph always liked her. Steph was son of Del Curry, famous, I don't want to say superstar, but he was a really good basketball player. I mean, he was one of the best shooters of his era, one of the best three-point shooters of his era. But Steph grew up with a lot of money. A few years after high school, Steph goes on to play at University of Davidson, or Davidson University, I don't know. He went to go play there. Ayesha didn't go to college. Ayesha moved to LA to pursue acting and modeling. Pretty girl, pretty lady, beautiful eyes. She hit LA, hopped in a plane on LAX with my dreams in my car, right? She went to LAX and she went to LA to pursue her career. Steph kept played at Davidson, middling career, and then about third year, he really takes off, and he gets the attention of everybody. Ayesha and Steph met in L.A. at the ESPYs Award, and they rekindled. They got back together, and they seen each other, and it was love at second or third sight. He then reaches out through Facebook. He goes in the DMs. He reaches out on Facebook, and they reconnected, and they had their first date. Ayesha says at this point she tried to keep the friend vibes, but Steph was always clear about his interest. So Steph was always pursuing her. The second time we hear this, Steph is pursuing her, and she is trying to keep the friend vibe. He wins, right? He wins. But before he wins, Ayesha is doing her thing in her career. She's acting. She's getting some small roles, nothing big. But Ayesha appeared in small projects. In 2008, she appeared in Dan's Detour of Life. She was in 4 music videos, one of them being for 7 Streeter, who's a great writer, by the way, great writer, one of the best writers of this generation. She don't get her credit. But she does. She's in her music video as a model. And she had a minor role in some Disney Channel and Lifetime productions. She earned an estimate, in the low 5 figures throughout this 10 years. Yeah, it made about 30 grand. These are estimates. All this is public information. About 30,000 throughout that time. Steph was drafted in 2009 and signed a $12.7 million rookie contract with the Golden State Warriors. Steph had a crazy playoff NCAA tournament where he was just shooting lights out. I remember watching this live, shooting lights out, doing his thing, and he got drafted really high. He should have been number one in that draft, but small school like Davidson, that's not Duke, that's not North Carolina, that's not Kansas, not that Kentucky, UCLA. There's a small school. He was under the radar, but he did get drafted. Together, their relationship is flourishing. Steph is doing his thing in his career. Ayesha's doing her thing. They have 3 kids. Ayesha has gone on to do great things as they've been married. Ayesha, not only does they have 3 kids, Ayesha hosted Ayesha's Home Kitchen on Food Network. So they own a cooking show. She also came out with 2 cookbooks. One of them my wife has. My wife has it, uses it. It's very simple. The food tastes really good. So thank you, Ayesha. But the 2 cookbooks, one was The Seasoned Life in 2016, and in 2020 she came out with The Full Plate. She also founded this venture called Sweet July. Sweet July is a lifestyle brand and a media company in 2020 that she launched during the pandemic. Ayesha is doing her thing out here. Ayesha has an estimated net worth of $50 million. Round of applause for Ayesha. Big deal. Honestly, big deal. The cooking show is lit. The cooking show was lit. I think it was only a year and a half. It was lit. You know what I mean? I would see it. You know what I mean? You kind of got to see her personality through there. And the cookbooks, like I told you, we got one of them. I don't know which one of these we have. We have one of them. And Chef's Kiss. Kiss Curry. Chef Curry. I get it. Is that what he did? Chef Curry. Okay. Chef Curry, yeah. Steph Curry, though, he's gone on to have 16 NBA seasons. He's starting number 17 this year. He has 16 seasons, all with the Golden State Warriors, which is hard to do, to just be with one team your whole career. That's Steph. He's been with his team the whole career. Steph has 4 NBA championships, 2015, 2017, 2018, and then 2022. He has 2 MVPs. In 2015, he was MVP. 2016, he was a unanimous MVP. That means he got all the way unanimous MVP. He has 10 All-Star selections, 10-time All-Star, NBA All-Star, and he is estimated, it's Forbes and Yahoo go back and forth. Forbes says $150 million. Yahoo says 240. Steph's rich, y'all. Steph is endorsements with Under Armour and so on and the likes. And honestly, Steph is doing his thing. Now the question and the problem and the drama that's happening right now is that when Ayesha says, I didn't see myself as a wife, and I didn't see myself as a mother, most men look at this, most men hear this, and they say, what more do you want? First of all, you had an opportunity before you met him, right? Or before you married him, you had a chance to say, no, I don't want this. You had the opportunity to do that. And so men, when we hear that, we go, you could have said no, right? Another thing is men are saying, yo, you benefit so much. In the world, if there's 50 of the greatest black men living right now, you don't get to past 20 before you get to Steph Curry. In terms of success, Steph Curry is probably the top 20 most successful black men on the face of this planet right now. Steph gets all the respect from other men. He gets all the respect. We never have nothing bad to say. You cannot find a guy who has something bad to say about Steph. Steph, when he was young and he's early in his career, he's really small. People used to say, "Oh, he's soft." Steph bulked up on us. Steph went in the lab and he put in the work. Steph ain't scrawny. Steph is built now, and he's still the best shooter ever, ever. Right? He's the best shooter ever. He takes his skills so serious. He practices so much, hours and hours. Men respect other men who work hard and are successful. So men all over the world really, really respect Steph Curry. And Ayesha, you're married to that. So men are saying, you have this man, like what more can he do for you? And there are no cheating, unless something comes out after no, there is no famous scandal with Steph Curry in the public. He doesn't have multiple women. He doesn't have outside kids. You don't see him do anything. Steph minds his business. And it looks like Ayesha's just making him look bad and more bad. So men are like, yo, if you're not happy with Steph, what in the world is going to make you happy? What's going to make you happy? Because Steph is 6'3". He's a multi-millionaire on his way to be a billionaire. He's faithful. What more do you want from a man? What more? That's what men are saying. We're confused because we're like, we don't know. But you go back to the beginning of this video when I read the whole background, I told you about Ayesha viewed Steph as a nice guy. And once you're in that nice guy box, it's hard to get out of it. Men are saying, what more can you give a woman? What more can you be? You're rich. You have ventures. You have 3 children. Some people can't have children. You have 3. Some people are poor. You're rich. Some people are being cheated on. He's being faithful to you. What more do you want? What more do you want? Spoiled. Men are saying Ayesha spoiled. They're saying Ayesha spoiled. And this reminds us of Jada Smith and Jada Pinkett and Will Smith. Will Smith is a nice guy. Shout out to Will Smith. Great relationship. Shout out to Will Smith is a nice guy. And once Jada saw him in that nice guy light, she was never able to take him out of there to where she's embarrassed him multiple times. That's what men are saying. Men are saying this reminds us of this. This reminds us of the Jada. You could just embarrass him publicly. And if you put the top 50 most successful black men, Will Smith's in it too. So there's something happening with these nice, rich, successful black men and the women they marry. Something's happening. So I had a conversation with my wife about it. I brought up all those points. I said, babe, I was at the barbershop, and this is what the men are saying. And I think Ayesha, is ungrateful. I think Ayesha is spoiled. I think, she's just rotten. Like, that's terrible. And my wife broke it down like this. She said, I can relate to her because a lot of women want to have their career. And they feel like they put their career on hold because they're in a situation where they got to be a family and they want to be a wife. They got to be a wife and a mother. So they give up the right to pursue the career. They go to college, they get these majors, they get these degrees, and they want to go be something. They're on the school bench next to the peers, and they're like, I want to conquer the world. And then they have a biological clock, and then boom, you got to have kids. And she says she doesn't necessarily agree with Ayesha. She's happy with her life. But she says a lot of women feel this way. Now, my question to y'all, is this a reasonable sentiment? Because just because you feel a way doesn't mean it's reasonable. It might make sense to you, but if you say it out loud or if you step back and look at what is in front of you, you'll see that it don't really add up. Is this a reasonable sentiment to have? Is it? Is it? Ayesha was gonna have her career as an actress and a model. She was already on en route. She was doing her thing. Would she have ever been worth $50 million? I don't know. I don't know. We don't know. The world will never know. We don't know if she, as an actress, as a model, would have been that. We don't know. Aisha's very pretty, beautiful woman, beautiful eyes, complexion. She has like this southern like charm to her. Aisha's amazing, right? Would she have garnered 50 million as a net worth? Right? Would it have been a million? It's hard out there. It's hard work to be an actress and a model. And truth is, a lot of people don't make it. A lot of people don't make it. So would she have? And even if she did, would she have enjoyed that struggle? Would she have enjoyed that struggle of making it and grinding? She even admitted herself she was barely getting by. Would she have enjoyed that struggle? There's a movie I watched when I was in college, and I think it was called What If? It's a Christian movie. And it's about a guy who was on his route to be a pastor and like impact people's life, and he had a woman that he was going to marry and is going to live this life, but he left that girl to go do business in Los Angeles, like to be like a big wig in the business industry, business mogul, and he became really rich, and he divorced, and one day he had a dream that he can go back in time and to see what if, like what his life would have been if he would have married the hometown girl, if he would have went into ministry and become a pastor, if he would have done these things with his life. And he saw those, and he had the what if moment. I wonder if Aisha had that dream, like in this movie. If Aisha had that movie and she got to see what her life would have been, would she have traded it all? Would she have traded it all in? Would you have gone to be the struggling actress, the struggling model? Would she want that? I don't know. I don't have an opinion on this, yo. I had an opinion and I talked to my wife, and she gave me the woman's perspective, and I think it's fascinating. I really do. I think it's fascinating. I think as a man, I'm just thinking you ungrateful. You ungrateful. But as a woman, I can imagine having your life set up for something, and then boom, it gets changed the blink of an eye because you meet a man who you're submitting to and you're following, and he just takes you to where you're a whole different direction. So I don't know. I think it's fascinating. And I think there is something to be said about how a relationship where the guy is nice, the woman does things like publicly, like, there's a lot of times Aisha has done some of these things, like recently as well. Like, she was on this View, and the women came out, and and there's like a guy with muscles came out, and she acted like she was taking off her ring, like ha ha ha. Like it just feels weird. As a guy, you don't want to see your wife doing that, right? As a guy, you don't want to see your wife playing like that. Like you don't, especially Steph. Like if you're not Steph is faithful, but if you're not like all gun ho and I'm riding with Steph, like it makes men think who can get loyal, who can get, like it makes you think. As a guy, you think about it. You're like, oh my. So I think being that nice guy and then having that wife like that, and she talks publicly. She's not doing all the way, Jada. She's not with other people. She's not in entanglements. But this is a bad look for Steph. And Steph doesn't do nothing. All he does is play basketball. He plays basketball and golf. He loves his kids. His kids are at press conferences. He does camps. He does mission trips. Like, Steph does it all, man. And he got to get embarrassed like that in public. Like, forget his accolades. Forget the fact that he's one of the most successful black men on the face of this planet. You got you one of them. You got you one of them. Forget the fact that he also has the nicest character. Now, mind you, I'm not in these folk house. I don't know how they live, but he comes off as the sweetest person. I have a friend that worked for the Warriors, and she would talk about how Steph would just give cash for Christmas to the staffers. Steph would you know what I mean? Steph went to church and he did Bible. Like, yo, if Steph's getting disrespected like that, what are guys gonna think? Like, we gotta, some people your relationship, it shouldn't be goals, but sometimes it's goals, and it's a bad look. So y'all tell me, Steph's quiet about it. So y'all tell me, Steph's not talking, Steph's not going about nothing, he's not saying nothing. He's just doing his thing. He's very quiet. He never talks, actually. When she does some of these things that make him look bad, he never talks. He never talks. He's a nice guy. Would things be fixed if Steph came out and talked? Would things get better? Would things get better if Steph just said, hey, like, leave us alone. We rocking like, would that help? Would that make him look worse? Like, y'all tell me what helps this situation, because at the end of the day, you might be like, we don't know these people's lives, we don't know, but it's in our face every time. And it seems like every time there's a platform and Ayesha's on it, she's going to go up there and complain about how, I'm not getting attention. Steph gets all the time, I'm not getting attention. Or, I never wanted to be. Like, that stuff gets exhausted. Like, what is it telling young women? What is it telling them? What is it telling the young men? I'll leave it at that. Y'all tell me in the comments. Tell me. Talk to me. What does this say? And what are your thoughts? Is Ayesha justified in thinking that? Or is she just out of line and she's making Steph look bad? And Steph, should he come out and just stamp this? Or how should Steph respond to this? Y'all tell me in the comments. My name's Sammy Rigaud. This is Sammy Rigaud Podcast. Thank you for tuning in. Please be a subscriber. We got a bunch of new stuff coming out. Make sure that you are subscribed and your notification bell is on. Like this video for the algorithm. God bless y'all.